All right, we're live. Hi, it's Anamika, and this is a training about email lists for my artists in the Visual Artist Accelerator Program. All right. So, email lists. Wow, get pumped. No, but seriously, email lists are worth their weight in every ounce of gold and energy that you pour into them because an email list, my dear, is something that you will own forever no matter what. Your email list, especially if you keep your own archive of the names and email addresses, those are your people. Doesn't matter what platform comes or goes, that's going to be your direct line of communication to your community, to your audience, to the family that lives and breathes and loves you and your art. So, what will this fix? Learning, first of all, I just want you to learn about email lists a little bit and get excited about starting or nurturing one of your own. And um, what it'll fix is basically that sense of shouting into the void. Having an email list that's really dialed in with your people feels like having an intimate conversation. It truly is. It's a one-to-one connection with people who you've specifically invited and who have specifically opted in to hear from you about the topic that you want to correspond about. So, an email list will fix that sense of feeling like just another artist on Instagram. Having an email list will fix the sense of, gosh, I don't really know where to pour my energy. Should I be on TikTok now or should I do YouTube? Or, it will help fix shiny object syndrome because your email lists are actual, real, living, breathing people who have opted in to hear from you instead of just broadcasting on other public platforms where you may or may not be um, even shown to all those people, where your posts are somewhat vulnerable to the algorithm and etc. Having an email list will fix that sense of shouting into the void. All right. What often stops people, especially artists, from even starting an email list are several things. Number one, not really understanding the purpose of an email list or how it differs from a social media profile or any other marketing effort. What can stop people from doing this is technical fear or overwhelm. And also, what can stop people from doing it is feeling like they don't know what to say, right? So let me just address those three fears first off. So, the purpose of an email list is to have a place where people opt in to hear from you and you can reach them directly. Okay, whether you email your whole list, a little segment of your list, or just one person at a time, that's an email list, right? Can straight up be like a spreadsheet or even a Rolodex with people's names and emails on it. And you get to contact them. You know it's going to reach them because they've opted in. So, the other thing that can stop people is the technical hurdle of saying, but I don't know how to start an email list. I'm not techie, this and that. So that's where I want to say, Honeybee, you can do this. There are so many tools today that help you start a beautiful, simple email list management strategy just with no barrier to entry. MailChimp is, I think, free for the first a lot of subscribers, and there's great competitive products that have come out like Flodesk. I'm sure by the time this video is published, there will be other new hot items on the market. But essentially, all it is a simple piece of software that allows you to email people and make sure that they have opted in and can easily opt themselves out right within that email. What you don't want to do is send out mass emails through your own email account more than once. And I'll tell you that in a moment. Or more than once or twice, and I'll tell you that strategy in a moment. But basically, you can do it grab a piece of tech, start somewhere. It doesn't really matter. You input those first names, and then it'll give you a way to publish newsletters to your email list or target individual people or segments of that list using the tool that MailChimp provides you or Flodesk provides you or whatever software you choose. I promise you, you can do it. It's not that hard and you won't break anything if you try it. So please embrace that technology. And you can also keep, like I said, your own internal spreadsheet of people's names and emails. I actually highly recommend doing that or downloading it periodically from whatever tool you use so you have that internal record. I'll tell you a story about that in a moment as well. Okay, and then finally, not knowing what to say. What am I going to say if I have, the precious attention of 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, 1,000 people on my email list? So not knowing what to say is it's often an actual like myth for artists because I think once you actually get going, you look around and you say, "Oh, I could show this art I'm working on. I could show um, this thing I've been writing about. Oh, I have a show actually coming up. I could talk about my mentorship experience." You have a lot to say, and go back to the Marketing 101 video because in that video I asked you to pick 3 things that you talk about all the time, and I give you a prompt. One is like, what's the message of your art? Are you trying to be a light in the darkness? Just find some joy in this crazy old life, something like that. Is that your message? And then also, what's one thing about your personal life that you do feel like directly influences your art? For me, the Pacific Northwest or being a mother, something like that you can talk about. And then finally, just visual inspiration is really great to share. As visual artists, I think that we overlook that as a strength in our marketing. You can draw, you could post photos, anything because you're naturally like gifted at that, and your audience will really appreciate some of that contribution to their lives and their inboxes if you share beautiful things with them. It could be all 3 of those things in your emailing or, just pick one. Send them a photo once a week. Okay, finally, I want to just tell you how I want you to start an email list. So remember how I said, don't spam all the people in your inbox, except for once or twice, and I'll tell you that strategy. And then the idea of keeping an internal record. Okay, so I'll tell you 2 stories that are tied to that. So regarding spamming everyone, when I started my art career officially, I got so excited and I had so many events coming up, and I thought everybody would be as excited as me. And so I took all of the contacts that I had in my, Gmail at the time, and I emailed them all together in a big group message. And I said, "Hey, friends and family, it's Anamika. Da 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 da. Like, this is so fantastic, right?" Um, yeah, so I realized that that actually isn't cool. Nobody likes to be on a big group email. And now email culture has changed a lot in the last like 8 years, so we all know a lot better now, but I just want to remind you that it's perfectly fine to send out a big group message to your people through your regular email, but do it blind carbon copy so that you're not sharing their email addresses with everyone else, and only send one that says, "Hey, I'm starting an art email list. I'd love to share updates. If you want to be on this list, reply back with yes, and I'll put you on it." Okay, so give them a way to opt in from your regular email. And then I encourage you to follow up one more time, maybe a week later, and say, "Hey, it's me again. All right, this is the last you'll be hearing about this through my regular email. Just want to let you know I'm starting an art newsletter. If you want to be on it, reply back with yes, and I'll put you on it. There will always be a way for you to opt out on that newsletter." Okay, there you go. And then don't use Gmail or just your regular emailing tool to email your art audience because there always needs to be an opt out button on your campaign. That's why using a tool that's built for emailing like MailChimp or Flodesk or some other tool that is even hotter at the moment you decide to do this is really, really handy because it's built to be compliant and respectful of people's inboxes. And the best part about that whole story is once I realized what I had done, I actually emailed everyone one more time and I said, "I am so sorry. I just realized I've been spamming you. And so from this moment forward, if you want to remain on this list, reply back with yes, and I will add you to my official list. And if you don't want to be on it, then I just simply won't hear from you and you won't be on my art email list any longer. Well, I'll tell you what, I got the sweetest batch of messages back from a bunch of people who said, yes, I don't want to miss a beat. Add me to that list. I still hear from them, many of my newsletters they reply back to. Other people who never responded back, oh, I felt so much lighter, like I wasn't bothering Uncle so and so or, cousin, etc., or old past coworker, la di da, because they truly didn't want to be subscribed to my email list. They weren't my art family, right? And then once I realized everyone in my art audience actually opted in and wants to hear from me, whoa, it just completely changes the feeling of emailing them. I'm of service. I'm showing up. I'm actually helping them by doing my job and sending them email newsletters. And those are my people through the thick and thin of Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, now TikTok, all the whatever's coming next. I've got my email list. So I implore you, in whatever form, with 5 or 10 people or 50 or 100, whatever you've got, invite them, allow them to opt in, and then start talking to them. Start showing up, set up a regular cadence. Think about the way that you already maintain and build relationships. Apply that towards your own marketing strategy. An email newsletter is one of the best things you can do to build a foundation of audience support and engagement for your art career. You own it forever, and I implore you to do so. So I'll leave you with one final story. Now, my mom, Nancy Hops, has been self-employed and working in various capacities as an artist and performing artist since, the 80s, and even before that. But once she started an email list back in, it must have been, I don't know, when did that come about? The late 90s, early 2000s, whenever it started, she started an email list and she started emailing those people. And I've helped her maintain hers over the years several times. But if you think about it, it's now, a 20, 30-year long project. I think before she had an email list, she just had a Rolodex of clients. And that's her audience, no matter what she does, whether she's teaching workshops or performing or seeing individual clients, or now she's, writing a book. Those are her people, and that's her audience, and that's her legacy. So she's been marketing since before we all had access to personal, platforms on the internet, but she's kept a log of all those relationships. And now it's this big Wampin spreadsheet that's also duplicated in her email software. And that thing is like the pumping heart of her whole business. Those are all the relationships that give her her job. So I implore you to do it. If you're also someone who is terrible at regularity or even like the kind of correspondence that it takes to maintain relationships long term, hire help, hire support, get support in place for a rock steady, heartbeat monthly newsletter art project for your business, because it will really help and it will build over time. Everything you do for your art, you'll get more people who fall in love with your art and become part of your art family, and your email list community, and it becomes a legacy all in its own. Anywhere you have an audience, you can build a career. So, again, I implore you to start your email list today. Let me know your thoughts and how you'll get started. And I can't wait to see what you create together with your people. Bye.